after another, garden route towns came under threat. Plettenberg Bay, Mossel Bay, George, Buffalo Bay, Port Elizabeth. Flare-ups continued and the N2 was closed in the firestorm.
We had several other fire teams coming. City of Cape Town sent us a fire team. The Mossel Bay was here but had to withdraw because their own fire started.
Knysna Municipality spokesperson Fran Kirsten.
Of course, as you know, the weather never abated. The wind kept blowing. The Air Force was on standby the entire time, but they could not be mobilized. And when the wind stopped yesterday, they took to the air and they started bombing.
Firefighter Leroy Bikes knows the odds when fighting against the wind.
We've been here this fire farm this morning. We've been at the fire in Uniondale. Currently busy with the line, doing just making sure there's no flare-ups again to cause another fire.
This piece of melted glass was Louis Jordan's sliding front door until the early hours of Wednesday morning. This was his neighbour's brand new television set and washing machine.
Not been there 4 days in Athens. Now you need to change. And now. Is
he crying?
Because I want to be bad kill him. The woman ban. Go save him below Saban. Go save him and one.
Across Knysna's valleys, in an upmarket golf estate, Niall O'Hagan was called back from work at 2 in the afternoon.
We literally got out of here as the flames were coming across the road.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing how some houses missed the fire and some houses are intact, as you'll see that one up over there. But these two were directly in the path of this house across the road.
Danielle Peters runs the equestrian centre at the Oak Hill School.
We thought that we would escape the path of the fire, but it unbelievably jumped the river behind us. But within 10 minutes, our stables, our hay barns, our tack rooms, everything had burnt completely to the ground. And we were surrounded by flames. They surrounded us and the 35 horses that live here, but they didn't manage to get to us.
Over 600 properties have been reduced to rubble and ash. A thick blanket of smoke and shocked silence hung over Knysna in the aftermath of the fire. It devastated massive areas of vegetation and displaced thousands of people. And for the residents, the question is not when, but how they begin to pick up the pieces. Very little is left of Craig Patterson's family home.
When I came back from work, I came around the first bend when you come into Salt River. From seeing nothing, we come around the bend and I thought like a volcano going off because there was like a sparks jumping and shooting, you know? Very scary. So yeah, then I got on the phone. No, don't worry, the family's all been taken to the church, they're all safe. Couldn't believe how fast fire can actually move.
As people fled burning homes, the Vineyard Church became a makeshift relief centre that's now been running nearly 100 hours. Pastors Deanne Ulifi, her husband Steve, and an army of volunteers coordinate donations streaming in from around the country.
The telephone poles were all being burned, so people couldn't communicate with each other. We had a lot of families separated because the N2 was closed because of the fires. Personally, my own family, we were evacuated 4 times throughout the night. As every place we went to, the ash just started following us and the flames were coming after us.
There's a hypothetical question that asks what we would save in the event of a fire. But for the residents of Knysna, things happened so quickly that wasn't even a consideration. And that's after they'd received warnings of a severe storm front and high pressure system that would bring driving winds.
We were in warning about the storm that was coming, but we were expecting rain and wind. We weren't expecting fires.
Cape Townians were first to be hit by the predicted storm's gale-force winds and huge waves. About 100 people lost their homes.
So generally the thing that separates a bad storm from a regular storm is the wind speed.
Dr. Peter Johnston is a climate scientist at the University of Cape Town.
You could see from the satellite pictures and the pressure systems this was going to be a strong wind. And the winds did gust over 100 kilometers an hour. And we saw the trees were blown down, and we saw cars blown over and trucks blown over. So it was a severe storm.
Trees were uprooted and power lines downed across the city. Roofs were blown off in various informal settlements and low-income areas. A 60-year-old man died in Lavender Hill when a wall collapsed on his Wendy house. In Imizamoyetu in Hout Bay, residents who are still rebuilding after a devastating shack fire in March have now been hit by flooding and wind damage. Cape Town is currently experiencing one of its worst ever droughts, and I wonder people here were hoping that this week's storm would bring some sort of relief. Sadly though, the storm was more about wind than it was about rain.
We know that the water did fall in the dams and fall in the catchment area of the dams, and we're hoping that the dams will have filled up maybe 5% in a storm like this. It's going to take a long time for the dams to fill. It's not going to happen in one storm.
The same wind that whipped the Cape Coast fanned the fires that continue to flare up across the Southern Cape. Already drought-stricken, Knysna has now been declared a disaster area.
Before this, we were in level 3, which meant we had 27 days of water left. Now with the fire and the firefighting efforts, human life was first, so the water got used for that.
It can be incredibly difficult to find any sort of consolation in tragedies such as these, but if there is a silver lining for the residents of Knysna, it's in the way that people from elsewhere have come together to contribute to the humanitarian process. Churches, municipalities, Gift of the Givers, the Red Cross, everyone is standing by with crisis relief. It's not yet possible to say how many people are left homeless, but in Knysna, 20 suburbs were evacuated, some as late as yesterday.
Silala esikolweni. Kulala umama okhulelweyo. Kulala umama onomntana one-2 months esamendeni. Because isponge awunayo ibizwa ibhethi isponge isamende. Kubuhlungu ngolona hlobo ukubona abantu belala esamendeni. Silala esitulweni zezinye izindlu. Ulala esitulweni because ibhethi i-1 ile yala umuntu walendlu now wena funeka ulala esitulweni ngolhlobo kude kube kusasa.
At least 7 have died in the fire, including a family of 3 overcome by smoke while trying to flee. A young volunteer firefighter died in hospital after suffering burn wounds. Police have no proof that any of the fires were set on purpose.
So far we have no idea. It, as we say, was within the forestry hamlet, so it wasn't within a town, it wasn't within a township. We have no idea yet. Right now all we're doing is trying to save lives, structures, cause and all that, and how much damage was done will be done once the mopping up process happens, and that will start once the fire is out.
Relief workers say the greatest need at the moment is for non-perishable food, especially baby food, warm blankets and mattresses.
We're all a little overwhelmed now that human life we know is safe and we don't have the fear of people dying. It's just, this can't happen.
Very emotional. I'm going to try get things going again. That small little section over there actually got walls and a door, so at least I can get one room going and then slowly start to go again. A lot of hard work coming up.
Our deepest condolences to the families of those who have died during the tragedy. From droughts to deluge and flames, will the Cape ever continue to rise above? Share your thoughts with us using #CarteBlanche.